At any point in our lives, something significant can happen that completely alters the path we think we should be on. And yet, is there anything we can do to prepare ourselves for it? A year ago, I said no chance, and now I say absolutely. We have so many tools at our disposal that would allow us to be prepared for something completely unseen, and yet also give us an opportunity for growth. I genuinely think without challenges, there's no way for growth. And when this event happens, if we lean on our community, our mental well-being, our physical health, and any other tools that we've been working on, of course we're going to go into it with confidence, knowing that it's happening for us for a reason, and that this event was meant to happen to make us grow. I challenge the audience. What are you doing today that would help you if something significantly happened completely out of nowhere? Would you be prepared? I'm Alex Perry. This is Alex Perry on Fire. Today's going to be super fun, and it really is because we have a friendship that's been 10 plus years.
At least, yeah.
And I feel incredibly comfortable around you. And I think what's funny to me is I know you as Tiffany Gomas, and the rest of the world knows you as crazy plane lady.
Starting to transition, but yes.
And when I say rest of the world, I mean like people that don't know you, because that's not who you are, and you were never that to me. And
right.
Even I remember I was sitting on my couch and someone sent me something, and I go, that kind of looks like Tiffany, but that's not Tiffany. And it wasn't because I never I looked at the picture, but I know you're not
going crazy in public.
Yeah, you're not. That's not you.
No. I mean, it is obviously because that happened, but no, I think that was probably the biggest deal for most people, or friends and family. They just couldn't fathom that was actually me. They're like, no, it of course looked like you, but you would never do that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we did.
I don't think it was crazy. I think it was more fun. And I think it wasn't crazy to me because I know you. I was like, I say this, who has not been on a plane and literally, this was my opinion, been like,
lost their mind?
Yeah, get me the fuck off this, or, what's going on, right?
Well, and I wasn't even supposed to be on that flight. That's the funniest part of it all. I was supposed to fly out the day before. And then I changed my flight to that morning, and then I had to go to physical therapy because I had a back injury. And so missed that flight, got pushed to another one. The whole day was just absurd. And then went crazy, went home that night, got off the plane. I didn't get kicked off, even though contrary to belief, did not get kicked off. Walked off, made a scene, obviously, which wish I could take back. And then got home, and then it all just started running through my mind, what in the world just happened? This is not good. So immediately call one of my best friends that's also a lawyer. I'm like, I don't know what I just did. This is going to be bad. He's like, let's just see, things like this die down after 24 hours. No big deal.
Had it already been, did you call him because you'd seen stuff already?
After everything happened, I just knew, it was such the world we live in. I knew that was going to be posted somewhere. Didn't think it would go to the level it went, but I definitely knew it was going to be posted. So I have a flight. I changed my flight again to a 6 a.m. Southwest flight because I have to be in Orlando to get on the ship by a certain time. And instead of just canceling the whole trip, I still make it. But the craziest thing is I'm still in the same freaking outfit. I don't even change. Go get my bag from DFW at 4:30 in the morning, go straight to Love Field, and then hop on a Southwest plane. And then I get there and I'm like, Mom, I need an outfit. Give me something, because I didn't have my bags. I checked them. I was like, give me a hat. I need something.
But it hadn't gone viral at that point.
No, it didn't go viral until about 24 hours into the trip. So it was about, I don't know, actually, the person that originally posted it, Daily Mail commented on it after 24 hours. I'm like, can we use this story?
But you said it was a perfect kind of storm to get to that point. It was just a chain reaction of events that got you on that plane that then got you to say, get me off this plane?
Yes. Yeah. And I mean, It's so funny because like no one's really asked the hard questions during like interviews or podcasts. Like Barstool podcast was super fun, but they didn't really ask me like direct questions. So like the world still is like, I don't understand. Like this makes no sense. It doesn't make sense because I had taken a pain pill at like 5 a.m. that morning. And this is the first time I've ever told anybody this. It was like at 5 a.m. that morning and went to PT and everything, came home. Like I really thought it'd probably be out of my system. I was going to drink a couple glasses of wine, get on the plane and pass out. Well, I got in an altercation with someone and then like it didn't make sense what I said because like, well, it wasn't making sense to people. It was making sense in my head because I was in an altercation. I was like, this dude's not being real. And the way it came out just sounded absolutely batshit.
So you took a pain pill, drank.
Yeah.
And did you know
let's like look at
take me
time.
back. Yeah, exactly.
So it was like 5 a.m. that I took the pain pill because I got up early. I had like a 7 a.m. PT sesh. And then by the time my flight wasn't until like 2 or I don't know, 1, I can't even remember at this point. It was like later on in the afternoon. And I just had 2 glasses of like white wine. And I thought I was super relaxed. Nope. Definitely backfired. But yeah, so that's like the actual like true story of what happened. But there's no like conspiracy theory. There's no wild like.
Did you know the person that you said this person?
No.
Just
I had and this is funny too because people are like, why was she on the back of the plane? I'm like, well, first of all, why does that matter? But second of all, I didn't book my ticket. And I was on the aisle seat and I wasn't even supposed to be on this flight. So I got moved around a million times. So I was on the aisle seat and I offered up my aisle seat to this man. He, I was like, I'm 5'2", like I'll sit in the middle. It's no big deal. He didn't talk. He had like a mask on, like up to here, like a bandana thing. And we just kind of got into an altercation, but like it wasn't enough to like storm off a plane. It wasn't enough to make a scene. It was just like once you get to that level of like where you're worked up to a certain point, like I don't
like he wasn't giving you enough room when he took your aisle seat.
His legs were in my way. But yeah, like it spiraled out of control. Like, and then, once you're worked up to a certain level, it's like it's really hard to.
Yeah. So you're like, get me off this fucking plane?
Pretty much. Yeah.
And because it was just that guy and you were in a weird headspace.
Both. Yeah. We did get into it. Like, and I called the flight attendants over. I asked to be moved like multiple times, but there was no other seats on the plane. So it wasn't until like I'd gotten really worked up that they're like, oh no, what? Like we'll find a place for her to sit. It's like at that point I was like,
and it just had escalated.
Rails. Yeah.
And you're like, get me the fuck off this. And anyone who wants to sit with that motherfucker can figure it out.
Yeah.
Is that the idea?
Yeah.
Excuse my language.
And
right?
I was obviously, I think I have the language problem. Yeah. And we got in and I didn't feel like safe in that moment. Whether that's warranted or not, that's a different ballgame. But I definitely didn't feel safe.
Well, I think what's interesting is that I didn't think it was crazy because I think we've all been on a plane where like, get me off for some reason or another.
You know me and you know my intentions in my heart. Like I would never want to disrupt someone's like vacation or whatever. So yeah, like coming out of it, it's like, I think people were, why isn't she giving interviews? Why is she doing this? Like there was all this like speculation on who I was, what I was doing, what I wasn't doing. And there's no playbook for like going viral. You don't know, like I have no clue how to navigate this. You're embarrassed, you're mortified, you're ashamed. Like you have all these emotions. And then it's like, at some point it's like, do I hide under a rock for the rest of my life? Or do I just like embrace it and be like, y'all, I just went batshit. Sorry.
But I feel like you've embraced it and tell me, do you think it was the taking of your time to figure out how to embrace it?
Yeah, I think I didn't make any like rash decisions. I didn't respond to any media. Like I didn't give quotes. I didn't do any of that. The first thing I went on was Barstool. And that's because they seemed like more kind of my speed. Like they just seemed like genuine good people. And I felt really comfortable in that space. And it wasn't like a interview that was like, meant to make me look horrible. Like they just wanted to shoot the shit.
But why do you think they didn't? Because you said it earlier. Why do you think Barstool didn't ask you the tough questions?
Well, it's funny because we were sitting on like the you know how they watch the games or whatever.
Yeah.
So we're sitting there, and PFT, we actually were chit chatting on the couch. So and then he asked me, and I was like, "Why didn't you ask that in the interview?"
Yeah.
And I told him, I was like, "Yeah, I was on a pain pill."
Yeah.
He was like, "Damn, we should have asked you that." And I think the conversation just flowed, and it never came up, because then we started joking around about other stuff. And
yeah, you were just comfortable with the scenario, and you felt like they aligned with who you are.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that, because the funny thing is, when I saw you on there, it's like, I think what's so great about it all is talk about alignment. Like, I think you've done a good job, but tell me about this, of taking your time to then figure out how you assess the situation. So I guess you sat with it, then you decided after Barstool, kind of, where am I going to go with this?
Yeah. Well, and I think too, like, a lot of people are like, "Oh, she's monetizing. Oh, she's monetizing." Like, I really wasn't. You gaining followers doesn't make you money. Like, I think there's a big misconception with social media. You having followers, unless you're selling something or getting cuts off of sponsorships, you're not making money. And so anyone can tell, like, I haven't done any sponsorships. Like, I'm not trying to sell stuff. I'm not trying to push products on people. Like, I've always said, like, I don't want to be an influencer.
Yeah.
Like, I live like a really cool life anyways. And I see comments all the time that are like, "Oh man, all this hush money, like she's getting to do all this cool stuff." I'm like, no, I've always done this cool stuff. You just didn't follow me.
Yeah.
Like, you just didn't know who I was. I wasn't relevant.
Fair.
But you know me, like, I've always going somewhere, traveling somewhere, going to some sporting event, like doing.
But did you find a moment where you're like, okay, I should, and not necessarily monetize it, but take advantage of this?
Yeah, absolutely. I went back and forth a million times, especially in the first, before I really like came out with anything. Hey, should I take advantage? Like, people already like think I'm a joke. Should I get on OnlyFans, and not like doing nudity or anything, but just I could have made a couple million a year.
What made you? And I know you, but the audience doesn't. What made you say no to OnlyFans?
That it's like everyone's like specific. I don't care. That just doesn't align with like who I am and my core values. I have to look in the mirror every day, and I have to be proud of who I am. I don't really care what other people think. Well, no, it's like, okay, you went crazy, then you're like monetizing it off of like it was just starting to like spiral, like the offers that were coming in or whatever. It's not like I didn't get offers. I just didn't. I passed all of them up because they didn't align with who I was.
Were they coming in like crazy? I mean, did you think that you needed like someone to PR publicist,
Yeah, and I had a good girlfriend that is in PR. So she like definitely helped like after probably like 3 months in or so, 2 months in. Because she's like local in Dallas, and she's great. So but like at the beginning, no, like I kind of was on my own a little bit. My friend Brad, that's a lawyer, he kind of like was looking out to like crisis management firms to like, hey, how do we nip this in the bud? How do we get rid of it? And we did hire one. And I'm out a lot of money on this because I did try to hire somebody, but it didn't align. They wanted me to like say things that weren't factual. And I don't know. I'm like big on my word. I'm big on like telling the truth. Like, I tried to take accountability for it, but then you don't apologize, right? Like
yeah, like I feel like everyone was saying, what I got was like, no one knows the true story. It didn't seem like, for me, it didn't seem like you were trying to monetize at all, right? But it also seemed like no one knew the true story, right? It was like, we really don't know.
Why is the whole entire world entitled to that story? This is what I don't get about our world in general that we live in.
Yeah.
Like, this was my life. I didn't want a public life. Like, I was thrown into it whether I wanted it or not. Yes, I can go back private now, and I might quite actually. Like, I don't enjoy like having my life on public display for scrutiny. Like, and it's funny, like people say stuff all the time about that, but it's like, no, I show you what you want, like what I want you to see. You don't get a full look into my life. Like, that's something that friends and family have a privilege of. Like, and I share bits and pieces, but like, I went through some really hard shit those like first like 6 months. And I wish maybe now I could have like told the story a little differently and really like went through like what, like the deep dark parts of it.
Yeah. And do you think there's resentment from others because of what you got?
Yeah.
That they would
want?
want?
I mean, well, I think people too, like they think I should have been arrested. They think all these things, but I'm like, okay, you're mad at me because I wasn't arrested. Like that.
But do you think they're mad at you because you weren't arrested, or they're mad at you that you've got popularity and fame and notoriety and all this stuff.
I would not call that what I have fame, like, because it's literally like people making fun of me 24/7. And luckily I can laugh at myself because it would not be fun to be laughed at every single day.
I agree, but I've said this, like things happen in your life out of nowhere, crazy things, right?
Yeah.
And it happened to you. And you have a choice to kind of either hide in a hole or embrace it.
Yeah.
You embraced it in time. What do you think had you ready to embrace that?
I think it was just like more or less like telling the people like who I really am. Like, because there's all this speculation on my mental health, all this speculation just on everything about me as a human. Like, am I real? Am I a Fed? Like all these insane conspiracy theories. Oh, her face is facial recognition. Like, it's not her. It's like, y'all, I was like puffy as shit because I was on a steroid and pain pills. Like, yeah, my face was a little rounder and I was like 8 pounds heavier. Like, you've seen me in my ups and downs. Like, it's had no makeup on. My hair was pulled back. Like, women look a lot different with makeup.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, I mean, you've seen me at the gym and then you've seen me out. Like,
yeah.
Different people. I mean.
But did you have confidence afterwards knowing who you were? I've known you. I know you, like you said. And I know that you're comfortable. You are as comfortable as it gets saying, this is who I am, like it or not. I'll wear makeup. I won't wear makeup. I'll do that. The world didn't know that, right?
Right. I think that's the reason of being like, no, I am going to show you who I am. Because like I do have feelings. I have emotions. I'm a female. Like, although I'm not super emotional, this like has actually made me like tap in, I think, to my softer side a little bit. And I'm so much more empathetic in life, I feel like, just with everybody. I think there is a silver lining. I was actually talking to a friend about this yesterday. Like, there is a silver lining because I do think I've changed drastically over like the last 9 to 10 months in a positive way. It's
incredible.
I know exactly who I am. I don't need validation from outsiders that don't know me. Like, my circle's gotten a lot smaller. But I think the biggest thing is not caring what people think, because that's just life. That's how it's going to be.
Yeah, I'm smiling because similar to you, and I'd say 9 months, I've had a transformation. And for me, it wasn't, going crazy on a plane, all due respect.
Yeah.
It was, a breakup with a girlfriend. It was my brother going through mental health. It was work monotony, right? And it was, those are big events. We don't all have huge, crazy, viral events.
Yeah, but there's stuff that's tugging on you inside regardless.
Do you think, and you said it, you changed, and it's like, it's almost lucky.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't in a great headspace at that time. Before the plane incident, I was going through some stuff like personally that I like really needed to get out of. And I think having to deal with this trauma after, and like being able to laugh at yourself and like coming out of that, like, then it was like, okay, no, like I really like want to live the rest of my life like truly happy and not in this like limbo of like doing cool stuff and kind of being happy some of the time. Like, I am so confident like now just in who I am that like I truly like live. I wake up in the morning and I laugh. I'm happy. Like, I'm excited for the day.
Yeah.
And it has really nothing to do with like anything that's come from this. It's just me having to dig deep in who I was after.
Yeah, for sure. And I said the same thing to someone the other day. It's like, we can't choose the things that happen to us, but when they happen to us, and then we look back and we're like, okay, look where we grew. And it's a weird spot to be stuck in a place where you're not unhappy. You're actually happy, but you're kind of going through the monotony of life, right?
Yes. Like, it was just kind of like, oh, it's another day. Like, and that sounds really bad because I have a great life. So like that sounds really bratty. But it was just exhausting. It was an exhausting.
But I don't think it's bratty at all. I think that's the realness of what I'm seeing with a lot of people, and especially when we get to a certain age or you've done things, it's like experiences start to get old or they're not as new, and the people you surround yourself don't get as much energy from it, and you get stuck in these relationships, whether they're, physical, intimate, just friendships. And it's just, the older we get, I think we
I'd
just
rather be alone.
Yeah, we just stay in the comfort zone, right? Yeah, right. Like, or at least connect with someone who can. I've had enjoyment talking with you outside of here and just having a real raw conversation that had nothing to do with the plane,
right?
Had nothing to do with business, but it was like, what the fuck have we grown from? Where are we? And we gained energy. I remember we gained some serious energy from each other just being real.
I think it's hard to have deep conversations with some people. I feel like a lot of the conversations we have in life are really surface level with majority of people. And so I think when you have people that you can connect with on that deeper level, like, and just get really raw and real with, like, but I try to do that now with like everybody. I'm very sick of having like these surface level friendships. If there's not value in a friendship, I do think you outgrow some friendships, and they've always, like, people serve a purpose in your life at certain times. And not outgrow friendships and like you're too good for them or whatever. No, like, they're just different phases of life, or just, you need different things in different phases. And I'm not about that like super party life anymore. Like, I'm going to be 40 this year.
Yeah.
Like, I want to like kind of settle down. I want to travel the world. I want to experience things, not have a ton of shit, or not, I think it's quality over quantity all day.
Yeah. And sometimes life punches you in the face to recognize, or at least get you into action to say, all right, let's turn this. I
mean, I think I was drinking way too much. Like, I think, I was partying like more than I should have. I wasn't being like the person I want to be long term. And it's like, people are like, oh, why is she single? Why is she single? Well, I live a pretty damn good life by myself. Not saying that you don't want a partner, but I don't think I was putting out the energy in the world that I wanted to receive back. So the people that I was like in relationships with or dating or whatever, like, I feel that I didn't have the boundaries that I wanted in place for the things I wanted in life.
I think that's fair. And I'm again, kind of in a similar path, 9 months or whatever, really into similar, my breakup was in July, my twin brother, all these things I'm talking about have been similar. So I think it happened in August of last year. And while you're changing, you almost don't want to even commit there because you're still figuring this shit out, right? I mean,
well, I think I'm in a headspace now, like, to like open that door a little bit, but it is to like intentions now, like, where are they? Like, I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of like in a weird spot. I think I still have a little time before like settling down, like, is the right call. But like, we're going down that path.
So what I would ask you is, now that you're known for something that you're not, right?
Yeah.
What goes through your mind to say, okay, I don't always want to be known for this, right? And now it has helped me get to a place where I'm more comfortable, or I've pushed myself into a place I like, I'm happier with my decisions, etc.
I think internally I'm a better human from it. But yeah, it does suck that everyone's like, oh, you're the crazy plane lady. Thank God now when we're out, like, oh, is your name Tiffany? I'm like, yes, thank you. I do have a name. Like,
so that's happening a little bit more?
Yeah, both happen.
Does it piss you off when someone says crazy plane lady?
No, it really doesn't. I think it got old. It is sometimes like, okay, you're so original. But no, I mean, I did that. I put myself in that position. And although it sucks, like, it is funny now. Like, I was with some of the guys hog hunting yesterday, and like, they wanted, like, hey, do this skit. Like, you're gonna be the not real one. And so like, I just like play with it, like laugh at it. And
you don't get paid for that.
No, God,
no.
No.
I think that's the misnomer, right? Is that everyone thinks that you're getting paid for things that...
Well, I don't know. How would I get... Where is the money being made?
Well, I think that's what's cool about it. It's like, you're having fun with it at no financial gain, just more of like, this is part of my life. And if it makes for more fun experiences and meeting more cool people, then game on. And
I will say that, like, people are like, is there any good that's come from it? I've gotten to meet some dope ass people, not gonna lie. The Barstool guys, like, all of those guys were so fun, super cool. Like, the JT or Jared Taylor, like, they're the one I went hog hunting with. I met this guy named Gary Faust, and Uncle Laser's like a comedian. They're freaking hilarious, like off the wall, but freaking hilarious. I got to go to the Super Bowl. I've gotten to do some cool shit, but again, I've always done like some pretty cool stuff.
So it didn't have to change. Exactly. You weren't in awe of it. It wasn't like,
No.
okay. And it wasn't, okay, I've done this ride. What's next? What's better? What's bigger? And how do I keep myself in front of the camera? And how do I keep myself being relevant? It wasn't you.
No.
But it was never wanted. That's never what you wanted. Do you feel like people go crazy on a plane now because they want what you had?
No, people said that, but I feel like, okay, those are like completely different, like shitting on a plane and going crazy on a plane. Like, I don't think that is anything the same.
Yeah. Have you thought of like having more fun with it? Because I'm like, why doesn't she go do something for like American Airlines, right? Or like Delta, or like, or I'm joking of like, you know.
Well, what's funny is I have some pilot buddies too, and they're like, one of my best friends, her boyfriend's a pilot for Southwest, and he's like, all my pilot friends said you can fly on our like planes any day. I'm like, well, good, thank God.
I laugh because when I saw it, like, you all need to get off this plane. I thought Final Destination.
Yeah, no shit.
That's what I thought.
There's a colonial woman on the wing.
I thought there's
all sorts of. There's so many.
The only thing I'd say, if that happened, and I asked myself, like, would you get off the plane? Like, if I was on that plane and you're like, you guys gotta get off this, I'm like, there's a part of me that would have been like, I am going to get off this plane and maybe I'll, get this girl's phone number.
Listen to this is funny. So literally like a month later, I had to travel to Belize for work. And so I'm on United because I am banned from American.
You are banned?
Yes, it sucks.
For how long?
Indefinitely.
Really?
Yeah. Let's sign a petition. It's really inconvenient from DFW. It's like the only airline with direct flights. Yeah, it sucks. So I had to fly United and I had to have a connection in Houston. So the plane, like we're sitting on the plane and they're like, hey, everyone has to like get off. Something's wrong. And I was like, damn it, they know I'm on this plane. I really thought it was me. And of course, this time I booked first class because I'm never sitting on the back of the plane again because all the hate I got from it. So I'm up at the gate and the lady.
Why'd they hate on you for flying?
At the back of the plane. I was like, if she has all this money, why is she in the back of the plane? Like, maybe that's why we do have the money. I'm just kidding. But so we're sitting at the gate talking with the gate agent. And she's like, what's your name? And I was like, there's a super hot, like 6'4" dude next to me. And I'm like, Tiffany. And they're like, Tiffany, like, speak up. Like, what's your last name? I was like, Gomas. I was like, I did not want my name out. And then
that's funny.
He was like, hey, do you want to go get a drink? And this was like at 8 a.m. I was like, I cannot be seen at a bar at 8 a.m. before I board this flight.
No back pill.
Oh, yeah. So we go get a drink and we're like sit there chit-chatting. And we end up knowing like a ton of people that are the same, but he like had no clue who I was. So he didn't find out until like 2 days in the Belize trip. And he was like texting me and I was like, oh, he's going to find out. And then he's going to like ghost me. And he totally did.
He ghosted you?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. So I met the super hot dude on my first flight.
And well, I never meet attractive women on flights. That's I've flown millions of miles and I'm always waiting for one person and I don't even get close to it. It's sad. That's funny. So you said Barstool didn't ask you tough, I guess, questions, right? And I would also ask, like, you've got to have this, like, if you're saying, that person isn't real, and we've seen Santa Claus, we've seen DeMarcus Lawrence, and we've seen like
LeBron.
What's LeBron?
Everybody.
What's like the funniest? Like, or what's like?
I think the funniest was like when Conor McGregor like messaged me on Instagram, and it wasn't like like he's trying to like hit it. I mean, he's married, kids, all the things, but he reaches out and he was like, no, like, Tiffany, what happened? Like, what wasn't real? Yeah. I was like, oh my God. Because I think he believes in like aliens and stuff. And I was like, oh shit. Like, this is wild. Like, people, and I still get it all the time. People are like, I believe you. I was like, I don't even believe that. Like, what are you saying? Like, why are you believing me? It was crazy.
I think it's fun. I think it's hilarious. I think it's great.
I wish I would have come out with some like crazy ass story.
Yeah. That you could have gone with.
And ran with it versus like telling some lame, boring story. And that's what's so funny. People are like, we don't believe you. You're a fraud, whatever. I'm like, no, I told the truth and you all just don't like it. Like, you don't like what the story is.
But you can sleep with yourself because of it. Like, you go to sleep, you know who you are.
Sleep with myself every day.
Sorry, I apologize.
Kidding.
But like, but more so like you wake, there's a confidence level that allows you to align with what you want with it, to joke about it, to know that it's not going to be who defines you going forward.
Right.
There's a little bit of the unknown with that, right? Going forward.
When it first happened, I was like, damn it, I'm never going to get married now. Literally like, everyone's going to think I'm batshit. And then everyone, I can fix her. Like, I can fix myself.
But I think a little bit's part of you. Like, it's fine, right? Like, it's not.
I'm crazy, but like a normal amount of girl crazy,
Yeah.
not like batshit crazy like that. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, it was a wild ride.
Well,
There's still probably some to come, but
Yeah.
now I'm like seeing a light at the end of the tunnel. It's like, oh, like
it's burning off because it's been
Yeah.
a year, and someone else will do something that they can concentrate on.
right.
And they'll do a Halloween costume. And
Yeah, I'm
they'll
gonna be like
all
this
that.
grandma, like when I'm freaking 90, being like, I was a meme one time.
That's hilarious. So I guess one thing I think would be great for our audience, right, is we talked about something happens in your life. It's so unexpected. It hits you. You said you took your time to kind of figure it out where you wanted to go with it. But like, from like any perspective, like, is there anything you would have done differently? Like now sitting back and saying, okay, you joked about having a different, funnier story. Maybe that's it. But is there something where maybe it's even before that? Or is it like, no, this happened for a reason, but this would I do differently, or anything of that note?
Not really, honestly. Like I said, I don't think there is like a playbook for it, but I might not have done like some of the interviews I did, like maybe just done the Barstool one and like kept it at that. Because like the podcast and stuff, like that's cool, but like some of like the interview type stuff, like that's really not who I am. Like,
Well, it doesn't get a chance, I guess, also to say who you are, right? Like, what was exciting for me is like, I know who you are. We're going to have fun banter. You're going to be real.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. You told me, I guess you didn't told anyone that this is, the real story.
No, I think the only people that know that story are like friends or family.
Yeah.
And a lot of it at the time, it was really difficult because like, I mean, my mom and my grandparents, like I had so much like guilt and shame for them because like they're freaking angels. My grandparents and my mom, they're Southern Baptists. Like they don't drink, they don't cuss. And then they have me as a freaking granddaughter and daughter. And it's like balls to the wall, like crazy, like, and they're like, what in the world? But they were literally so supportive. Like my family, I am definitely the butt of all jokes. But I always have been. So it's really not any different.
So you embrace it. I love it. And I guess, because I'm certainly not Barstool, I appreciate you coming on here. What, and you said you were comfortable with Barstool, which is incredible.
Just like good dudes. Like we played basketball. We, hung out and watched sports, and like that's right up my alley.
Going back to exactly what you align with. So I think that's, and it's important. It's like you figured out what you align with. Going forward, this is who I am, not going to define me.
And I think I've maybe made some missteps along the way with like social media, perhaps like maybe like letting other people dictate or tell me what I should be posting, what I shouldn't be posting. Because I'm not just like this dolled up girl all the time. Like I can get fancy, but I'm like a good old country girl that lives in Dallas, like likes nice things, but like my roots are still like growing up on a boat in the lake, like fishing, doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so I think just trying to like be more true to who I am and what I post. Like I'm super sarcastic, very witty, like, but my comebacks are so good. But like I think too, like people see this side of me and they don't realize like how like soft of a heart I have and like how kind and generous I am. And so I just want to make sure like who I am is depicted, not like just this fake persona. I want to be like real on social media. I don't want this fakeness out there.
I think I'd end with that, because I've been kind of dealing with social media, and I did a post the other day about actually giving up social media for a week to kind of feel like what effect that was having on my life.
Yeah.
Because this was so social media driven, right? Without social media, I don't think we probably would have known as much, right?
No, that would have been great.
So what's your relationship with social media, or what advice would you give?
I have an insanely healthy relationship with the social media now. I only give myself like I'm not on social media all day. I know people probably think I am. I did get on this little banter with Twitter for a while, and I'm like, this is spending way too much time on here. And it wasn't like necessarily pulling out the best side of me. And so I think stepping back from that a little bit and just like posting, I think that even like I probably need to like scale back a little, but on Instagram or whatever, I just post shit that I think is funny, or, you know, every once in a while I'll post like a pretty photo, but I think I'm trying to get back to being like more authentic on there.
Yeah, just learning what kind of, how it can be helpful to you, and then what you're using it for.
And also like not showcasing like something that's not realistic. Like I'm not trying to like live this life that's, you know, I just now just post the cool stuff like I go get to do.
Yeah, and you want to be you. And so even if that means posting an attractive picture of you on Instagram and getting some hate from it, but getting some love from it, it's just, this is who I was before, this is who I am now, right. This is who I'm going to be going forward.
And of course, like I'm not everybody's cup of tea. Like I'm not going to be. Or tequila, whatever, you know, but I think that's okay. Like that's what when I get all this hate, I'm like, you don't have to follow me.
Yeah.
Like, I am not forcing anybody to be here. I don't care if I have 1 follower or 2 million. Like, it doesn't matter. I'm still going to live the same life.
Yeah. I think that's incredible perspective. I think it's also what makes you so comfortable is that you're not, and again, I don't think you're trying to be anybody you're not.
No. Well, I mean, you know me, so it's easier for you.
Yeah, but even after this, it's like, okay, this is it. This is what happened. You didn't lie about it. You just said it. You could have lied about it. You could have with a crazy story, gotten even more viral, right? But no, this is it. And this is
I really wanted to shut it down, and I thought the apology video would do that. And then that's when the conspiracy theories came out, and I was like, oh, this just made it worse. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So it's like, but still, like I felt like at that time, like everyone was owed an apology. Even though it was difficult for me to like deal with the aftermath, like I caused it and that's on me, but it was still difficult.
Yeah. I guess the difficult question I think most people would have, and even I would have, it's like, if something's helping you, like it's helped you personally, it could help you financially, whether you give that money to charity or not, right?
And I have given a lot of donations.
Would you really want to shut it down, right? You're a confident person. It happened. Would you really want to shut it down?
No. So I'm actually creating a merch store right now, and it's going to be just all sorts of random stuff. Cause you know, I do e-commerce, and I think people like don't realize that like, no, I have a full-time job. A couple, you know, I also do real estate. People think I'm a realtor, not a realtor. Let's clear that up. You're the realtor. But yeah, I'm going to throw up a store, and then I'm going to have different apparel like going to different charities. So like, if it's a kind of like something politically, it'll probably go to either like a war vet like charity or Tunnels to Towers or whatever. If it's going to be something like I have this one that's just a t-shirt that says just fucking be nice. That's all it says. But that one, like maybe we'll go to Cyber Smile.
Yeah. So you've got a plan.
Like, yeah. So when I said I wanted to do some good with it, like this was not easy. And so like Cyber Smile reached out, like his daughter, she has a really cool story, or he has a really cool story, not her daughter. She went through some things, but like giving back to people that are truly doing good. So it's like, I don't know what that game plan looks like for the rest of my life. But like at the end of the day, I got to figure out like how to integrate that to do like better things with.
Love it. But that wouldn't shut it down. That would just say, let's expand on this in a way that's just helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think,
and that it's not like monetization just for me. It's like doing
100%. Yeah. Then part of this podcast is aligned exactly with that. Into a journey. How do I help and how do I grow and make this a positive in something that was kind of just a monotonous standstill life, not an unhappy life.
Yeah.
But
there's no purpose. Like there's no deeper purpose. And it was like, I'm just living the same thing every day. And like I said, it was really cool. And if I died tomorrow and we were like, I did some really cool stuff in my life, but I'm not fulfilled, happy. Like I'm not 100% fulfilled. Like I'm what I truly want in life.
Well, and I was going to stop the podcast, but you went into something that also hits me. No, because you said it's purpose, right?
Yeah.
And it took us a long time to get there, but it's so important because so much of this podcast is about that, is that we get to an age, and you said it, you're about to be 40, I'm 40.
Yeah.
And purpose starts hitting you real fucking hard.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and it's like, I mean, I think we all, like at the end of the day, want someone to share a life with that like you can have fun with. And I think the world puts like these stipulations and things on relationships, marriages that a lot of people don't have a lot of fun in their everyday relationship. And that's the person you're supposed to like be ride or die with. Like that should be like the most fun relationship. And after going through this, like, I just really don't think that life's all that serious. So it's like where it's gotten me to now, it's like I laugh so much more. I can make fun of myself and not be like so, stick in the mud about it. Like it's literally just opened up a different like mindset.
Well, you have like a reset of what's important.
Yeah.
Because it could all change, even though it was just something stupid, it can all change everything can change in a moment. You're right. That's where I felt with my twin.
Yeah.
Was like, fuck, it can change. And so what's important, what's purposeful, you're right. Live life, like smile, laugh.
It should be fun.
And you become more, in my opinion, you become so much more present.
Yeah.
Because of that. And it goes back to almost what you said with relationships. It's like you get stuck in these relationships that I've said it a couple times. You're going through the motions. You are not
and it's like
loving, laughing, smiling as much as you think you should be if you're in this relationship.
I see some couples and all they do is like laugh together. Like I'm like, that's life. Like that's happiness to me. I don't care about what all the like things I have and all that. Like all that can be taken away in a minute.
Yeah.
So it's like what's under all of that?
Well, I would rather sit in 28D in the back of a plane with someone I could have fun with than
you would have had a lot of fun that day.
than 1A and not have a conversation with something that was meaningful.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm going to end with this. I'll sit with you 28CD.
We can still sit in 1A and have fun.
Well, true. But thanks for coming on. I think that you align perfectly with with everything this is about. And I think you're on the right track. And I was always proud to call you my friend, crazy plane lady or not. You're not crazy. You're fun. You're real. And
definitely made me figure out who my friends were. That's for sure.
Well,
yeah,
this was fun. So thank you.
Well, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
That was a fun podcast. And I think we should all recognize that Tiffany is not crazy. She just had a bad day, and we all can have bad days. But at the end of the day, once we have that, it's how do we respond and how do we use that as a growth vehicle? And I think what she's doing is she's turning a negative event into her life into something that's positive, and also not just positive for herself, but she's giving back. And the whole idea of this is things happen. How do we respond? And how are we prepared when they do happen? She is a great example of it. Thank you, audience, for listening. Again, super fun episode. Can't wait to have you back for the next one. I'm Alex Perry. That was Alex Perry on Fire.